Apple announced the new features in the upcoming iPhone iPod Touch 3.0 firmware. Included RMMS, iPhone only, Spotlight, updated Apple apps, push, and finally copy paste cut. Also, Apple announced major updates to the SDK, which will make games and apps even more powerful. This morning I headed to the Apple website and downloaded the new 3.0 firmware for my iPod Touch. After playing around with it for a few hours, I would like to show off some of the new features and what to expect from the new firmware release. Spotlight and search. On the Mac I use Spotlight as my app launcher, so when Apple announced it would be on the iPod Touch it only made sense to me. Spotlight gets its on spot to the left of the main home screen, and you can use it to search for any piece of information on your device. This includes mail, contacts, iPod, and calendars. Even in the beta firmware, Spotlight is really responsive, and this may be the answer for better app management on the iPod Touch. Apple has also added search into most of their apps. Now you can search in Mail, I love SpotlightMusic, videos, and of course contacts. Because my iPod is only 16 GB, search really isn't that big of a deal in the music app, but it's very useful in Mail. Not only does it search the mail installed on the device, it checks the rest of your mailbox, so if you're using Exchange, it will check the server. Copy and paste. Finally, Apple has jumped into the 21st century and added copy and paste into the iPhone firmware. This is done by double tapping on a word, and up comes the new menu with cut, copy, and paste. You can select more text with this menu open by selecting the 2 points on the ends of the word to extend the selecting area. In Safari you just click and hold on a block to text to select it and a new menu will appear. I love Spotlight. Copy and paste is built into the firmware, so all apps on the iPod Touch will be able to use the feature. Developers can even extend on the functionality with their own apps in the new SDK. In Safari it's hit or miss on selecting text, and it is rather frustrating, but because this is beta firmware, Apple still has time to perfect this. Obviously this feature is needed for businesses users and is perfect for those of us who do a lot of emailing on the device. Adding the feature is a nice step in the right direction, but it feels like it needs some fine-tuning. Other new features. New YouTube. YouTube app now allows you to sign in and view your subscriptions. This is another thing that should have been there since day one. It is a welcomed addition. Street View is available inside Google Maps on the iPod Touch. The feature was included on iPhones in the 2.2 update a few months ago and works great on Wi-Fi. Landscape. For more Apple apps, you can now type in Landscape for Mail and Notes. Stocks is now available in Landscape, and you can get more information on your stocks. Like the new iPod Nanos, you can shake your iPod Touch to shuffle your music. Of course, push is added, but at this time there is no apps to test it out, unless we build one. If you want to know any more about the firmware, let me know via comment, or if you have any comments about it, you know what to do. I will also be making another video on me showing you all how the new features actually work. P.S. I have the 3.0 Beta 5 firmware for my iPod Touch, but not for the SDK, so I would greatly appreciate it if you found it and let me know. The last thing is, I don't have an Apple SDK account, so if you would add me to yours that would be great. So don't forget to message, comment, subscribe to me.